Before we begin, I want to let you all know that March is considered MS Awareness Month. Multiple sclerosis, a chronic, typically progressive disease involving damage to nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. Symptoms may include numbness, impairment of speech and of muscular coordination, blurred vision, and severe fatigue. MS affects Black people at the same rate as their white counterparts, yet our community faces higher levels of disability, faster disease progression, and too many barriers to diagnose and care. Although there is not a cure yet, this disease can be controlled and maintained. Early detection was a lifesaver for me, so if you feel off, different, or just can't put your hand on what is going on, talk to your doctor. It was a regular day, or at least I thought it was. It started off as a normal morning, wake up, dread wanting to go to work, shower, etc. My mom called me and said she was on the way to get my then 2-year-old to watch while I went to work. I hopped in the shower, and as I'm coming up from washing my feet, my body betrayed me. I get this feeling of not being able to swallow, my breathing is labored, and my face was going to the left. I felt weak, and my coordination was off. It was like my body and brain weren't connecting. Stroke. That was my first thought. And let me tell you, that fear is paralyzing. I knew something was wrong and I couldn't ignore it. So off to the hospital I went, expecting doctors to confirm my worst fears. But what happened next was even more confusing. Me and my then fiance were sitting in the back in the room, and all these doctors were asking me questions. Was I stressed? What did I eat? Anything new changed? The only change that had happened was me getting the COVID shot 2 weeks prior. When I told them that, they ran with it. They told me I had Bell's palsy and that in a few weeks this would all be over. Little did I know, it was far from that. After getting that quote-unquote diagnosis, and I use that term very loosely, I was somewhat content. But something was still wrong. These spells would come over me and last about 10 seconds at most, where I'm not able to swallow, my face would still go to the left, my whole left side will become numb. I remember being in the car on the phone with my mom, and I'm just like, something is not right. Something just does not feel right. I was at work this day, and I was going to pick up lunch for everyone. On my way back to the office, I'm driving, and everything just looks so different. I'm not understanding what's going on. I know I'm driving, but nothing looks familiar. I'm praying the whole way. Please, Lord, just let me make it back. Please do not let anything be wrong. I get back to the office and give everyone their food. And as I'm sitting at my desk, I'm not able to do anything. The only thing I could do is just cry. I called my mom and let her know to come pick me up. I told her I need to go to the hospital. Something's not right. They admitted me immediately, hooked me up to monitors, ran tests. I was poked, prodded, scanned, you name it. Yet, despite everything, no one could tell me what was going on. For 2 days, I lay there waiting for a doctor to walk in and say, here's what's happening. But every time someone came, they only had more questions, not answers. And I was just as lost as they were. Then finally, the words that would shift my entire world. You have multiple sclerosis. I didn't know whether to be relieved that I finally had an answer or terrified of what it meant. MS, what did that even mean for me? My future, my body, my life? And just like that, after 2 days of uncertainty, I was discharged. No roadmap, no clear plan, just a new diagnosis and a million unanswered questions. Luckily, I was able to get in with the neurologist, who's the best, by the way. And she was able to answer any questions that I had. She was able to let me know that they weren't able to quickly say it was MS because my lesions are not in the normal place where they could automatically know that that's what it was. She educated me and let me know that this is not a life-ending thing and we caught it in time. I only have a handful of lesions, and if we start the process now, I will be fine. She started me on an infusion that day, and I went back the next day to do another. And on that third day, me and my fiance were in Puerto Rico sitting on a beach enjoying life. The thing about MS is it doesn't come with a guidebook. I had to learn, adapt, and accept that my body had a new normal. And that's a journey I'm still on. Some days are hard. The tiredness, the monthly self-injections that I chose to do, it's not all easy. But if there's one thing I've learned from this, is that life is unpredictable. One day you're fine, the next everything changes, and somehow you find the strength to keep going. So that's my story, at least the beginning of it. And if you're going through something similar, just know you're not alone. I'll be sharing more about my life with MS in future episodes, but for now, check the description on how you can donate to the cause. Also, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever faced a life-changing diagnosis? How did you handle it? Let's talk. Until next time, take care of yourselves. And as always, well, Nikki said.